Today in this video lecture we will discuss about a precision rectifier. We will see what is the difference between a rectifier used in the power supply and a precision rectifier. For the rectification purpose, we use either a halfway full wave or the bridge rectifier. In a halfway rectifier, we know that one diode is there which is connected in series with the load resistance RL, and at the input we apply our AC signal. This is your load resistance, and here we have this output voltage like this. Now let us say my input signal is a kind of a sine wave where its amplitude of this input signal is a 5 volt. Now we know that whenever there will be a positive cycle, then the diode will be in a forward bias and there will be a flow of a current, and you will get a voltage across the load resistance RL. Whenever we have this negative cycle, the diode will be in a reverse bias and no output voltage will be present. Again for this positive, the output voltage is there, and then the diode will be in reverse bias. So here we have this output voltage of a rectifier. But if you see, normally if we have a ideal diode, then the amplitude of the input voltage and the output voltage will be same. Here what will happen, that if we have a silicon diode, then we know that always there will be a drop across this anode and cathode of the diode, and this voltage drop will be around about a 0.7 volt. So the amplitude of the output signal is always less than by amount of 0.7. In other words, we can say that if the input signal is not increased up to a 0.7, then the diode is not conducting. Then after, the conduction will start and you will get the output voltage. So as a result, what will happen? Whatever the output is present here, this output is not of a 5 volt, but it will be of a 4.3 volt. So here in a diode, the cutting voltage is there. For the silicon it is a 0.7 volt, and for germanium it is a 0.3 volt. We know that. So here the input signal and the output signals are not identical, and the output signal will be less than the input signal. So this type of the rectifier is used when your input signal is very large. But suppose we want to rectify a signal which is an amplitude of only 100 volt, 100 millivolt. My input signal is, let us say, a 100 millivolt, or you can say it is of a 0.1 volt. Now if this is applied to this diode, then the diode is not going to conduct, because for the conduction of the diode we require a minimum voltage of a 0.7 volt. So here the rectification will not take place. Normally when we are talking about the communication, then in a communication when we receive the modulated wave, then this modulated wave is like this, and the amplitude of this modulated wave which we receive is of a very small signal. It will be hardly a few millivolt will be there. Let us say it is of a 10 millivolt. And then we have to demodulate. Demodulate means whatever the information is there with the carrier, we have to separate out through this a detector circuit. In detector circuit we use the diode. So if this kind of the signal will be present at the input of the rectifier, then you will not get the output. So this is the limitation of a ordinary rectifier circuit. Here if I will draw a transfer characteristics of a rectifier circuit, then it will be like this. We have this input voltage, here we have the output voltage, then this input voltage, if it will be up to a 0.7, then it is not going to conduct, and thereafter the conduction will stop. This is the transfer characteristics of the rectifier. And here this cutting voltage is of a 0.7 volt. So here if we apply a input signal like this, then the output voltage will not be present during this time period. Output voltage will be present only during this. So here we have this output voltage like this. So whatever the part of the signal is here, that is not present in the output. This is the transfer characteristics of a practical rectifier where we use a practical diode. But actually what we want, what kind of a rectifier we want, that the transfer characteristics of the rectifier should be like this. So if the input voltage is very small, then also the output has to be a HPN. Here if I will apply the signal like this, then perfectly I am getting this rectified signal, and the output of this is rectifier in this way. So this kind of the rectifier is known as a precision rectifier. Remember, this is the characteristics transfer characteristics of a precision rectifier. So how we can obtain whatever the cutting voltage is there, this cutting voltage must be equal to a 0, then only you can rectify a small amplitude of the signal. Okay? And for this purpose, we can use a operational amplifier with the practical diode. And here we will consider operational amplifier is the ideal and a diode is a practical one. Correct? So let us see a half-wave rectifier first of all and try to understand. Okay, now look at this half-wave rectifier circuit using the operational amplifier. We have this non-inverting half-wave rectifier because our input signal is given to a non-inverting terminal of the operational amplifier, and basically here the operational amplifier is nothing but it is a kind of a follower circuit. Means you know that follower means amplitude of the input and the output will be same. Output is going to be follow the input, but between the operational amplifier and the output terminal we have connected a diode D, that is a practical diode, and we know that a practical diode will be conduct here. This diode will conduct only if the voltage drop across this diode is of a 0.7 volt. Remember. Now what will happen when we apply a input voltage? And if this input voltage is less than 0.7 volt, then this diode will work as an open circuit. Here this is working as an open circuit. So the operational amplifier is also working as a open circuit. We have a open loop gain. In that case, because the D is not conducting, so this load resistance RL is also not connected, and there is no feedback. There is no feedback to the operational amplifier, so it will work as a open loop gate. Now we will calculate that how much voltage is required for conducting the diode. In a previous case, we know that for the conduction of the diode, you will require a 0.7 volt, then only the diode will be in a forward bias. But here, the operational amplifier is there and its open loop gain is very large. So if we calculate this amplitude of this input voltage, then it can be calculated like this. The input voltage equal to a output voltage. My required output voltage is 0.7 volts for the conduction of the diode and divided by a open loop gain. So 0.7, now open loop gain of the operational amplifier, let us say it is a 10⁵. It is very high. And if we calculate, then here it is a 7 microvolt. So here this diode will conduct when the input signal is more than 7 microvolt. Originally, when the operational amplifier is not there, then it was conduct up to the 0.7. But now, here due to the open loop gain, required input voltage is very small. Now, here in this case, if you see the transfer characteristics, then it will be like this. We have this input and the output voltage. This is my the output voltage, input voltage, and if we plot this, then this cutting voltage here, it is very small and almost you can say it is a negligible, and we have this transfer characteristics. So this part is a 7 microvolt. We can neglect this, almost you can consider a 0. And as a result, if we apply the input signal like this, then it is going to be conduct during this positive cycle. You have this output voltage, then the negative cycle, no output. Again for the positive cycle, output is set. So whatever the amplitude is here, the same amplitude will be there in the output of this. This is the characteristics of a precision rectifier. So here, remember, here the diode is conducting almost whenever your positive voltage will start. It doesn't require any cut-in voltage. Then this kind of the diode, this kind of the situation is known as a precision diode. Here, the combination of an ideal op-amp, remember, the combination of an ideal op-amp plus a practical diode is known as a precision diode, or it is also known as a super diode. You can say almost it is a ideal diode is there. Correct? So in this way, we can conduct the diode for a very small amplitude of the input signal. I think so now it is clear what is a precision diode or a super diode. Super diode will start conducting with a very small amplitude of the input signal. So practically if you see, if my input voltage is less than 7 microvolt, then the diode will not conduct. But as soon as it will be a more than 7, then it will start conducting and will give you the output voltage. Okay? Now let us see the function of this circuit. Initially when we have a positive cycle at the input, my AC signal is this, correct? Vi. Now let us say this amplitude is of a 100 millivolt. 100 millivolt, very small amplitude is there, and we want to rectify this. So now when this positive cycle will come, here at the input, the positive cycle will be present. Then this point will be, here this is a non-inverting op-amp, so this point there will be a positive voltage. And due to this positive voltage, here the diode D1 will be in a forward bias, and you can consider this one as a short circuit because the diode is in forward bias. So due to this short circuit, here now we have a kind of a feedback. It is a 100% feedback is there. Remember. So we have this negative feedback, and the gain of this already you know it is nothing but it is a follower circuit. So in that case the output voltage will be equal to a input voltage. So whenever the positive cycle will be there, diode D will be in a forward bias and the output voltage will be almost of your input signal. Here the D is in on condition. Correct? When the negative cycle will come, remember, when this negative cycle is present at the input, means we are talking about this one, then this point we have a negative voltage. Here the output of the op-amp will be a negative. Means the diode D will be in a reverse bias, and this will work as a open switch. This will work as a open switch. So due to this, there will not be a flow of a current. Current will be zero. Current in the RL, here this current will be also a zero. So naturally the output voltage will be also a zero. Here the D is in off condition. Then the chain is going to be repeated. Then again the positive cycle, diode D will be in a forward bias. You will get the output. Then no output will be there during this negative cycle. So here now you can see this output is rectified output, and this is possible if my amplitude is very small. So that is the advantage of a precision rectifier. So amplitude is in order of millivolt. Then also we can conduct the diode using the operational amplifier. Now here remember what kind of a disadvantage we have. That whenever the diode is in a reverse bias, so we have this open circuit. So open loop will be there, means there is no feedback. So operational amplifier is with the open loop, and with the open loop what will happen? Your op-amp will be in a saturation. So as a result, in that case, the potential at this point will reaching to A minus V saturation. Whenever the negative cycle we apply, then the output of the operational amplifier will go to the negative saturation. And if we see what is the voltage across the diode, this voltage is zero. Remember, here we have 0 volt, and this saturation voltage is there. So when the diode is not conducting, at that time the voltage across the anode and cathode, that is known as the PIV. Correct? So here, when diode is not conducting, then the voltage across the diode is, and that is known as a peak inverse voltage, and that will be equal to a Vn. That is known as a Vn. But here, normally here in this case, instead of Vn, my peak inverse voltage will be minus V saturation. Now sometimes if the breakdown voltage of the diode is less than the V saturation, then it can damage the circuit or you will not get a proper output. So here what is the disadvantage? Whenever the diode is not conducting, then the voltage across the diode will reaching to a very large voltage, that is a minus V saturation. So to avoid this kind of the situation, we have another rectifier circuit which is a inverting half wave rectifier. Let us see what is that. So here the two different diodes are used and the input signal is given to a inverting terminal. And input voltage is given at the input inverting terminal of this. Then in the feedback part, the diode D1 is connected. In the output, the D2 is connected. Again, we have a feedback through a resistance R. So now, let us see the working of this circuit. So first of all, let we have applied a positive input voltage. Means AC signal is there. We applied a positive signal, positive cycle. Now remember, this is a inverting terminal. Then naturally in the output we have a negative voltage. My input is a positive, then due to this inverting terminal, the output voltage will be a negative. Now this negative voltage is given to the diode D2. Now you can see the polarity. This one is the anode and this one is the cathode. The negative voltage is appearing on a anode of this. So this diode will be in a reverse bias. So what will happen? Here it will work as a open circuit. It will work as a open circuit. So if you see, then here this will be a open circuit. There will not be any flow of current. But this negative voltage is given. This negative voltage is given to this cathode of this diode, and here on the anode already the positive voltage is present. So this diode is in a forward bias. This diode is in reverse bias. So in forward bias, this will work as a closed switch. That you can see, here it is working with a closed switch. Now, so this is a kind of a follower circuit that you can see, correct? But the D2 is open. So practically if we see, the current in the RL will be a 0. And there is no feedback. This current is also a 0. So due to this, the voltage across the RL will be 0. Remember, when we applied a positive cycle at the input, then the output voltage will not be present. This output voltage is 0. The D1 is in on condition, but the D2 is in off condition. Now look at this, when we applied a negative voltage. So let us rub out all this thing again. Now try to understand. We have this negative voltage, means we are talking about this negative cycle. then whenever the negative voltage will be present, then we know that the voltage at this point will be a positive. So due to this positive, the diode D2 will be in a forward bias and it will work as a closed switch. It will work as a closed switch like this. Now this negative voltage is appear on the cathode of this diode. Here we have this cathode, this anode. This negative positive voltage is applied on the cathode of the D1, and this negative voltage is applied on the anode. So diode D1 will be in a reverse bias. So this will be in a reverse bias. This diode is in a forward bias, and in reverse bias, this diode will work as a open switch. So now D1 is reverse bias, D2 is in forward bias. So now what is the feedback path? Here you can see that feedback path is this. And here simply it is working as a inverting amplifier. And what is the gain of the inverting amplifier? The gain of the inverting amplifier is AB is equal to minus RF by R, and here in this case there are from minus 1. Minus 1. And it is going to be inverting gate. Remember, here the gain is minus 1. So if you see that the output voltage will be equal to minus input voltage. And what is my input voltage? It is a negative input voltage. So output will come out to be a positive output voltage. It will come out to be a positive output voltage, and therefore here during this time period, if we see this output voltage is present. So where the D1 is in off condition and the D2 is in on condition. So again when this positive cycle will come, then the D1 will be on and the D2 will be off, and there will not be any output. It will be open circuit will be there. So basically here, what is the difference between the previous circuit and this circuit? That in a previous circuit, when your negative voltage is there, then the output of the op-amp is going to a saturation. Here it will not go to the saturation. Remember, because it has a path. Here during this negative cycle, we have this feedback and the gain of the amplifier is minus 1. So it will not be in the saturation. Correct? So that is the advantage. So here this output voltage is going to be inverted of the input voltage, and therefore it is known as a inverting half wave rectifier. Okay? Now let us see one more rectifier circuit, that is the full wave rectifier. You can see the diagram that here we have used a 2 operational amplifier and 2 diodes are there. So one of the operational amplifier is used for a amplification, that is a non-inverting amplifier is there. Now let us see what is the working of this rectifier circuit. Okay. So again here if you see the input voltage is positive cycle, then what will be the circuit diagram? And if the input voltage will be a negative, then what will be the output voltage of this? Okay. Here let us draw a diagram. Here is positive cycle, then we have a negative cycle. So try to understand. we have this positive voltage, first of all, at this point. Hmm? Now, here, you can see that this is a non-inverting terminal connected to the ground. Then, naturally, the potential at this point, VA will be also equal to 0. And this positive voltage is given to a inverting terminal of the operational amplifier, means here we have a negative voltage. Now, due to this negative voltage, one of the diode will be in a forward bias and another diode will be in a reverse bias. So, here which diode will be in a forward bias? That D1, that negative voltage is given to cathode of this. So, this is in a forward bias and this will work as a short circuit. And D2 is in reverse bias, so this will work as a open circuit. This one is in reverse bias. So, if you draw the circuit, then it is like this. See, the resistance are, this feedback resistance are, here my input voltage is there and D1 is working as a short circuit. So, I have mentioned a line. Now the D2 is open circuit, so I don't have to draw anything. Then, this output is connected to this resistance R, and then here again we have another operational amplifier. Correct? And this is, here now try to understand. This terminal is ultimately connected where? It is connected to VA, and the VA is nothing but the virtual ground is there. So I can consider that this is connected to the ground, this is also connected to the ground. Minus, plus, and the resistance R is there. Here we have this output voltage. So, when the positive cycle is applied, D1 is in forward bias, D2 is in reverse bias, and my simplified circuit is this. So, this is nothing but it is an inverting amplifier, and here we have a second stage of the inverting amplifier. What is the gain of this inverting amplifier? That is the AV1 is minus 1 because the R is pi R. So it is minus 1. Here also, what is the gain of this? It is also a minus 1. Resistance R by R is minus 1. So overall gain, if you see, that is the AV1 into AV2, so minus 1 into minus 1, and it will be a plus 1. So, what is this? AV means it is a VO is equal to VI. VO is equal to VI. Means whatever my input voltage is there, the same output voltage will be present if the input is a positive cycle. So, here, if you see this waveform, this is the output voltage, and the D1 is on, D2 is on. The amplitude of the input signal and this output signal both are same. Now try to understand that if we apply a negative cycle. So here, this is my negative voltage. So naturally, here we have a positive voltage. When we have this positive voltage, then the D2 is in forward bias and it will work as a short circuit, and the D1 is a open circuit. It will work as a open circuit like this, and the D2 is working as a closed circuit. This is a reverse bias. So we have the situation like this. Now, what will be the output voltage? So here we assume that there is a feedback. This is open, so we don't have to worry about this. But here we have some feedback. So let us consider some voltage is present at this point. We do not know, we have to calculate. Now this V is present here. V is present here. It means the V is also present here. And if the V is present on a non-inverting terminal, so the voltage V is also present on a inverting terminal by the concept of a virtual ground or virtual short. Correct? So now let us see the circuit. If I will simplify the circuit, then it will look like this. This is my operation amplifier, and the input resistance R is there. Here, this one is open. So we have this resistance R, another resistance R, correct? And this is connected to the ground. We have this resistance at this point, and it is connected here. You can compare the circuit. This is my feedback resistance. The inverting terminal is connected in this way, and this voltage V is present here. So it is connected like this, where the potential is V. Now, if this potential is V, I have already mentioned that the potential at this will be also a V. My input voltage is present. It is a negative. Try to understand. This is a resistance R, and output voltage is there. Remember, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the voltage V. Then only we can calculate what is the output voltage. So, here, to calculate this, we have to consider this point. Now, non-inverting terminal is connected to ground, means this inverting terminal potential is 0. So, if we calculate, let us rub out all these things. Now, here if we calculate, to calculate this, we consider, let us say this current I1 is there, through this the current I2 is present, and through this the current I3 is there. Three different currents are meeting at a point A, and if we apply the KCL, then apply the KCL at VA, then we have I1 plus I2 plus I3, and that is equal to 0. Now what is I1? I1 is Vi minus Va divided by R. So that is the Vi by R plus I2. Here you can see that I2 is coming through this resistance plus this resistance. And what is the potential difference? That potential difference is V minus VE. So V and the resistance will be a 2R. Here you can say V minus 0 divided by 2R. Now I3. I3 potential at this point is V, and here it is 0. So again we can say V minus 0 divided by R, which is passing through the resistance R, and this is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. You can say 2Vi plus 2V by a 2R, sorry, we will write Vi by R plus V by 2R plus V by R, and that is equal to 0. So if we calculate, then this potential V will come out to be minus 2 by 3 Vi. Right? So potential at this point, or you can say the potential at this point is minus 2 by 3 Vi. Now, the same circuit, again I can simplify it in this way. Now, we are interested in the output, so this output is there. In feedback part, resistance R. Here we have a resistance 2R. Remember, minus, plus, and here my input voltage is V. Remember, I am going to draw a circuit of output part of the circuit. Correct? So here V potential, then the feedback R, 2R, and ultimately here this point is connected nothing but it is a virtual ground. So you can make it ground. Now what kind of a circuit is this? What kind of a circuit is this? It is nothing but non-inverting amplifier. Here, this is non-inverting amplifier, and in non-inverting amplifier, output is given by a 1 plus RF with R divided by 2R into a input voltage. So here what we have? 3 by 2, and input voltage is minus 2 by 3 into Vi. So you will get minus Vi. Vo is equal to minus Vi. But my input is negative. For negative cycle we are calculating. Correct? So output will be a positive. for negative cycle, that the Vi is equal to minus Vi, and therefore the output voltage is minus Vi will be equal to plus Vi. So here if we apply a negative cycle, then also you are getting a positive rectified output signal. So in this way, you have to do a kind of analysis and try to understand what kind of the output will be present. Right? So here if we draw this waveform, then again for the positive cycle, my output voltage will be there. Output voltage will be there. In that case, the D1 will be on, D2 is off. Now the negative cycle will come. Again we have a positive voltage because of this, but in this case the D1 is off and D2 is in on condition. So this thing is going to be repeated, and here you can see that the output of the circuit is like a full wave rectifier. So in this way, the precision rectifier will rectify if my input signal is very small. If it is less than the cut-in voltage, then also you will get a output in the rectifier.